In today's Kusama Eco update, we'll talk about Karura and then we'll talk about Kilt, because we actually have some news regarding Kilt that I wasn't really sure these things are going to happen, and yet they will be happening. So it's awesome to see the Kilt team finally come up with this decision and then deciding to share the news for us, the community, so that we can prepare our KSM in advance. And of course, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It's of course the crowd loans, the upcoming crowd loans, the second batch of the Kusama crowd loans, which are due to happen likely sometime either at the end of August or in September. I think they're going to be timed with the polkadot crowd loans. So first, let's kick it off with Karura here. So Karura has had a lot of updates in the last week or so. You're probably already aware of a lot of these, but just in case you aren't, so the first one I want to talk about is KUSD minting. So KUSD minting is now live on Karura Swap. We'll take a look at that in a moment. And of course, one other thing that we want to talk about, this was actually tweeted today, is with regards to the total value locked for Karura, which is now $30 million, almost $31 million in just 15 days after launch of Karura Swap. So just imagine the amount of value that's been locked up in Karura, and that just shows you the amount of demand there is for Karura and for its use case. And this is just the beginning. Remember, there are many more things happening behind the scenes, and once they start releasing all these different pairs on Karura Swap, and then of course we're going to have Akala on Polkadot, just imagine all these different projects will want to get listed on Karura and on Akala. So you can bet that Karura and Akala are both going to be solid DeFi hubs of the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem. And it just shows you it's a very hard-working team. People have trusted them and they have delivered. And they have been delivering so far, and they'll keep on delivering. That's the most important thing, right? I have no doubt in my mind that they won't keep on delivering. Yeah, just to continue on here with the total value locked, so it's 501 KSM, which was locked during the crowd loans, which equates to 148.3 million. And then there's a getting started guide if you want to find out more on how to use Karura and how to get KSM over to Karura, which you can find of course on their Twitter page. I have done a tutorial on the Karura DApp, but again, the Karura DApp is still in the testing phase, so it's still lacking a lot of functionalities. But my tutorial on the Akala DApp, which should be very similar to the Karura DApp, is already live. Again, it is on testnet. It should pop up on the top right hand corner of the screen if you are interested to check it out. Now, before we take a look at Karura DEX and of course Karura Swap with the new pair that's been added there, and of course the fact that you can now mint KUSD using Karura DEX, I'd like to first of all thank today's channel sponsors, BitSwap DEX, for sponsoring this video, and then we'll continue off right after the short clip.
BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap will get you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.com.
Thank you for watching that. So now let's talk about Karura DEX. So we're here on Karura DEX, apps.karura.network, and again, I have done a tutorial on this DEX, but again, it's not an up-to-date tutorial. It's not like an in-depth one because we don't have all the functionality available to us. So step by step they are adding different features, and when all the functionalities will be available, I'll likely be doing a full-on tutorial just like I have done with Akala. But anyway, we've got this new pair here called KUSD. If you click here, you can see that we've got KUSD now against Karura and also against KSM. So both of these pairs are available, and as you can see, we can generate KUSD if we do the swap to swap KSM, or we can mint it if we do decide to do it this way. But as you can see, the ratio is not too good here in the sense that you're only getting 201 KUSD for 1 KSM, when in reality against USDT, KSM is priced at around $215 to $216 at the time of doing this video. In fact, you can even see that here, because it gives us the average based on the Oracle prices, but because there isn't enough liquidity to be able to generate that kind of price match, then we don't get as much KUSD. So that basically tells us that KUSD is worth a bit more than $1 just because we don't have enough liquidity for KUSD at the moment. So I think this is another reason why Karura really wanted Basilisk to win that 5th parachain auction, so that they can supply more liquidity to Karura's DEX. And but I don't know if that would actually help KUSD as well. Perhaps it would. So yes, this is the other functionality here I wanted to talk about, and this is with regards to minting KUSD, and this is probably the most important functionality of Karura DEX aside from the swapping, of course, because here you can get those crypto loans. It's all about the unbanked, right? No longer using those banks. So you can select a collateral, but unfortunately, like I have said in previous videos, your collateral must always be higher than the loan that you can get. So say, for example, you've got 10 Kusama available to you right now, which is priced at around $215 each. So that would mean $2,150 as your collateral, which means that you will not be able to get at least 2,150 KUSD, because we got to keep in mind the liquidation fee, which is around 5%, and aside from that you're also going to pay a small transaction fee as well. So we're talking more or less maybe $2,000 give or take in KUSD if you were to mint it. So yes, it's always less, and maybe in the future we will be able to solve this problem with the collateralized assets, perhaps with a project like Altair, because Altair is Centrifuge's Canary network, and if they're going to be developing on Kusama and they're going to follow the same model as Centrifuge on polkadot but on Kusama, then maybe we're going to see some kind of interoperability with Altair and Karura, where we're going to see real world assets being used as collateral, right, if they manage to integrate somehow. So perhaps maybe a home, perhaps maybe a car, which has a specific value, but is not the value that you have available to you at the moment. It's the actual object that's available, right? So you can collateralize that object in order for you to get that crypto loan, and then of course you can pay off that crypto loan back if you're earning profits, in order to be able to get your asset back, or to be in control of your own asset once again, right? So that's just an example, right, of DeFi and the future of DeFi, the way things are moving going forward. I could see something like that happening, right? So yes, this is pretty much it regarding Karura. As you can see, the functionality is available. You simply click on get started, and then once you do so, you could see here that you can choose a collateral. So you can choose between KSM or liquid KSM. You could see the required collateral is 275%. This is the stability fee here. This is how Karura are earning their funds, from the stability fees, and also likely from liquidation. Like liquidation is probably not something that Karura are earning from, because liquidation is something that they need to cover themselves so that they're not at a loss, right? They're basically going to sell your assets, your KSM, so that they can cover themselves in the case that the price of KSM drops significantly, right? So that's how they cover themselves. But as you can see here, liquid KSM has better liquidation percentages here, 150%. So, and the liquidation fee is only 8%, so it is definitely better. Hopefully this is going to improve in time, but yes, I don't have any KSM in this specific wallet right now, or liquid KSM, so I cannot click on next. But basically that's all you do. You click on mint KUSD, you confirm by signing the transaction, and bingo, you're done. You get your KUSD in your wallet, which you can then use for swapping, etc., right? Or in the case that you're going to list on exchanges in the future, where hopefully they're going to do something like that, right? But yeah, this is pretty much how Karura DEX currently looks like, and these are the functionalities that have gotten added. Likely more functionalities will get added. We're going to see them all within this DEX, which is going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to that, of course, and I will be covering it on this channel. And like I said, I have done a dedicated tutorial on Akala, which is very similar, and I show you how you can take a loan there. So the steps are very, very similar on Karura, right? So it's nothing different there, with some similarities, right, you could say, or with some small differences maybe. Next, let's move on and talk about Kilt, because this is one that I have not spoken about in quite some time, the digital identity of Polkadot and Kusama Eco. So Kilt is a blockchain protocol for issuing self-sovereign, anonymous, verifiable credentials, and they're part of the Kusama and Polkadot ecosystems. The team are based in Berlin. I have done a dedicated video talking about Kilt Protocol. If you want to check that out, do check it out on the top right hand corner of the screen if you're watching this on YouTube. So let's talk about Kilt, because this is the big one here. This was actually posted on the 6th of August, only 2 days ago from the time of doing this video. And Kilt are planning the Crowdloan for the second batch, right? So let's talk about this article, because I am super hyped about this. We know that Kilt are a solid project within the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem, just like Karura, just like Moonriver, just like Karura Network, just like Karura Network, just like Centrifuge, Altair. Just think about all of these solid projects, right? And Kilt is definitely up on that top list. So Kilt is busy preparing for the next round of Kusama parachain auctions and aims to secure one of the first slots using the Kusama Crowdloan mechanism to encourage community participation. They've reserved 4.5 million Kilt of the initial distribution to thank the community for voting in support of their auction bid. This reserve was designed so that it will not introduce extra inflation into the system. The legal entity behind Kilt Protocol will also participate in the Crowdloan vote, but will be excluded from receiving any of these reserved Kilt coins. So this is interesting because this is what we were worried about, and many people in my community have mentioned this as well. And we were worried that those that were following Kilt closely were saying that Kilt were unlikely going to do a Crowdloan, and they were pretty much thinking to participate as a whale, basically the team contributing with all of their Kusama and then hoping to have those winning bids when the auctions begin, where in this sense is no longer going to happen now. Well, it will happen, but aside from that, they're also going to open up the Crowdloan to the community so that they can give you some Kilt, and that would be good, right? That's what we want to see. This is a nice way to earn some Kilt. So this is actually going to push up the price of Kusama, in my opinion, because Kilt again is a solid project. They've got some strong partnerships in Germany, and they are extending across Europe and likely will be extending across different countries too, across different continents, I should say, at some point, depending on how they progress. But yes, definitely a solid company, and a lot of projects within the polkadot ecosystem are partnering with Kilt, right? So yes, we're going to see a lot of use cases for Kilt in terms of the digital identity. I do expect Kilt to actually surpass Ontology at some point. I know I used to be a huge Neo and Ontology fan on this channel, but I just kind of see Ontology as jumping from hype to hype, right? They've been jumping from digital identity over to blockchain gaming, and then when the blockchain gaming hype kind of died out, they jumped onto DeFi, and then they started jumping onto polkadot. So they don't have like that very clear vision of saying, okay, we're going to stick with digital identity, we're only going to do that, where Kilt have this vision. Again, you cannot say that Kilt cannot change their mind too. Of course they could, but so far Kilt are focusing on this vision and they're sticking to this vision, and this is why it's important to pay attention to these kind of projects that don't just jump from hype to hype and that are not taking things seriously, right? Because obviously the investors get annoyed and they end up leaving the community. So yeah, just to remind you here, 4.5 million Kilt is going to be allocated to the Crowdloan. So again, we don't know how many Kilt you're going to get. I think it all depends on the amount that has been contributed, so you could calculate it that way. But because we don't know, we've no idea whatsoever how many KSM are going to get contributed to Kilt, then we don't know how many Kilt you're going to get, right? It's very hard to know. So all you could do right now is just assume that maybe 100,000 KSM is going to get contributed to Kilt, and then you can divide it by the 4.5 million to get, or divide the 4.5 million by 100,000 to get your the Kilt that you would be getting, right? Now, after they secure the slot, Kilt's parachain will launch with significant activated functionality, staking, and the initial token economy. This means staking will be possible on Kilt from Genesis. So this is another big one here that's going to put Kilt into the spotlight here. And I think that Basilisk are going to have a strong competitor now when the second batch of auctions begin. Kilt's updated token metrics will be published shortly, so we'll find out exactly how many tokens there will be in circulation and how many tokens will be as the total supply. And again, it's likely going to be inflationary and not deflationary because of staking, right? Staking requires staking requires an inflationary mechanism because you need to be generating out extra tokens to pay those stakers, to pay those validators, those people that are using their resources to run nodes and to validate your blocks and to create new blocks. And then of course you've got the nominators, which get a share of those transaction fees and of those block rewards from the validators for using their weight by simply staking and nominating their tokens. Now, after the Kusama auctions are announced, we'll post guidelines for our Crowdloan, including how to reserve Kilt coins will be made available to governance and after Kilt mainnet is live and decentralized. They look forward to this next exciting phase of Kilt Protocol. As you can see, 141 likes here, so quite a lot of community members. Remember, a lot of these community members on Telegram are likely bots or duplicate accounts, so these are like 141 real people that have decided to hit those likes for Kilt Protocol here. So yes, I am likely going to save some KSM myself to contribute, because I was planning to contribute all of my KSM that I've got earned recently, all of it to Basilisk. And now I'm going to rethink my strategy, and because of this post from Kilt, and I'm likely going to split it 50-50, and then we'll take it from there depending on what other parachain auctions they're going to be. But Kilt is definitely one on my books, so I'm definitely going to go 50-50 between Basilisk and Kilt, because both of them are solid projects. That's it from today's video. Tell me what you think in the comments below. As always, will you be contributing to Kilt, or will you be contributing to Basilisk or Altair, or maybe Darwinia Scrub or something else, right? Let me know in the comments below. I'm curious to get your thoughts on what you will be contributing to. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.